Good morning. How many folks here have heard me speak at other functions, other global sciences? How many are here for the first time hearing about myself and other extraterrestrial information? Okay, a lot of new people. That's great. That's great. I'm not going to spend any time going into my whole story. If you have internet access, you can go to www.lettersfromandromeda.com, and there is a wealth of information there, including a book which you can download called Defending Sacred Ground. It is no longer in print, but you can download it for nothing off the internet. This morning, what I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce you to ET22. The premise of the Andromedan contacts with me, and I'm not the only one, there are 3 others currently to date in the world, was to teach us the correct history of who we are. And that essentially involves the fact that we, as a planetary race, are the sum total of the genetics of 22 different extraterrestrial races. In a nutshell, extraterrestrials have been colonizing Earth for a very, very, very long time, millions and millions of years. They've been coming here. This information, this knowledge has been suppressed because it doesn't fit the box that they've all tried to stick us in. And they've mated with a lot of the women of our world. And they've left offspring. And we're going to talk a lot about that. And I only have 40 minutes or so because I'm sharing the stage with Mike Russ, who has something he wants to share. So what I'm going to do this morning, and I'll go into great depth in this in the workshop, is I'm going to share with you some bullets from Earth-taught history going back to the Precambrian era and the extraterrestrial history of Earth and our solar system. Okay, so I'm going to go through this really quick, and I'm going to be showing you some slides, transparencies as we talk about this. Is there any way to turn off these lights a little bit? There we go. Okay, our solar system. They talk about Earth, how Earth formed, but they really don't talk about the solar system. That's because science doesn't really know. They don't really know how all the planets got here. They don't even know how they formed because they still don't know what some of them are. Saturn and Jupiter. It's all theory as to what they are. Okay, and I want you to know that the formation of Earth is also theory, even though they expound it and speak of it as if it's fact. Okay. Earth history. We're told that 4.5 billion years ago the Earth began to form as a result of activities going on, molten lava, the creation of gravity, planetary bodies, pulling things together and forming planets. Again, folks, this is all theory. Okay? Earth formed along with other planets in the solar system. Earth was being born. Life awakened. The first tectonic plates arose and began to move. Fungi, planets, mammals and organisms, animals and organisms developed. The atmosphere becomes enriched with oxygen. This is what we're taught about in school about Earth. Now, here's the extraterrestrial perspective based on what I've been taught. An ancient race known as the Founders. Okay, this comes from the Andromedans, who are a 5th density race that are approximately 4,500 years technologically more advanced than us and 51,000 years spiritually more advanced than we are. An ancient race known as the Founders, who the Andromedans refer to as the Patal, is believed to be very involved in the engineering program whereby the environments of planets, which are already here, are altered to make them suitable and hospitable for life. The rendering of ecosystems to hydrogen, oxygen, methane, and ammonia for the introduction and colonization of microorganisms, nanites, and all types of life forms, self-replicating machinery, and the bombardment by comets, planetoids, to change the rotation and chemistry of planets. The practice and engineering of removing moons to alter planets' rotations and moving planets closer and further from their suns to either increase or decrease the radiation from the suns. All these projects, it appears, were designed to render many star systems in our galaxy, suitable for and planetary bodies habitable for organic life. Small machines have been discovered that were built so long ago as to be ageless. Amazingly, these machines still work to this day. These machines are capable of building molecule by molecule, which then in turn creates atom by atom, which creates physicality. These machines were used to create complex and advanced building systems, larger machines, and these machines were also used to build ecosystems, planetary biosphere ecosystems. Now, how many of you are familiar with the Star Trek, I think it's Star Trek 3 or Star Trek 4, the Genesis machine? Okay, that is a reality. That's a reality. Okay, according to these advanced extraterrestrial races. They do not know how these machines were built, and they cannot duplicate them to this day. Now, this is 4.5 billion years ago. So just imagine how advanced this race, this founder race, is, or was then, and what it is today. Earth-like organic life is much less common than hydrogen, methane, or ammonia gas ecosystems in our galaxy. This is because Earth-like carbon and oxygen life forms are solely dependent on the geological presence of water. So, to life forms like ourselves, the most precious resource is water. Which is why when you have a regressive presence on the planet or a regressive extraterrestrial race coming in to an already established civilization, the first thing they want to control is the water. Because all O2 life forms are dependent on it. Just keep that in mind as we go through the notes. Although O2 ecosystems are extremely complex, there are many ecosystems in the galaxy. Parts of the galaxy, the archaeological evidence that was found by other exploring extraterrestrial races was that the founders, quote, the Patal, are known as the creators and caretakers of this galaxy. The disappearance and or extinction of this race appears to be deliberate. Now, they don't really know if they're extinct, but there is no trace of them physically in this dimension any longer. Now, in an extraterrestrial perspective, and you got to understand, they think very differently than we do. Okay? If it's not present here on this density, then it's extinct. If a lineage dies, if the last of a specific genetic lineage crosses over, then that lineage is considered extinct in their perspective. Some of us don't look at it that way. Okay? So when I use these words, that's why I'm using it. Okay, I said that already. When the founders apparently left, sentient races were being born in the galaxy. Reptilian, human, plasmic, these life forms appear in this galaxy at exactly the time that the founders were leaving in full form. Okay, the archaeological records of our solar system show buried and suppressed and are now forbidden to talk about. Okay, the Paleozoic era, Earth-taught history. A dramatic explosion of diverse multicelled animals. Almost all living animals and species appear within a few million years. There are 6 major land masses, each of these consisting of different parts of modern continents. The west coast of North America runs east and west along the equator. Africa is the South Pole. Suddenly 90% of all marine and animal life become extinct. An asteroid hits the planet near what is called today the North Sea. Okay? Earth-taught history. Races in the star solar systems begin to develop space travel. Most are only able to travel within their own systems. Some, however, are able to travel outside of their respective systems and have begun contact and discovery with other cultures. The start of trade within these star systems begins. Star trade routes are started and negotiated. Sharing of technology has begun. The development of new systems of space travel has also begun. Alliances between star systems begins. Treaties are forged between these same star systems and races. One particular race of sentient beings, much more advanced in space travel, sets out to explore the galaxy. Their spacecraft at this time are hollowed out moons and planetoids, the creation of inner artificial living ecosystems using fuel and kinetic engines. Okay, now, at the time that we're told that dinosaurs are just beginning to form on Earth, space travel is well established already in our galaxy. Okay? We're going to move to the Mesozoic era, which is 245 million years ago to 65 million years ago. Many Earth-taught history, Mesozoic means middle animals, and in this time during which the world fauna changed drastically and great change in terrestrial vegetation, the dinosaurs evolve into Jurassic and then the Jurassic era, only to become extinct. Another planetary asteroid hits the Earth in the Atlantic Ocean off the coast of Colombia, making the dinosaurs extinct, and many other life forms. Extraterrestrial history. Many planetary civilizations have full space travel. Interplanetary trade is well established. The need for natural resources increases. The exploration of the galaxy by advanced sentient races has been in progress for 17 million years now. 17 million Earth years. The most well-established star races are the Sea Car of Alpha Draconis and Orion civilizations. Colonization is in full swing. Many planetary alliances set up rules for colonization and reaching further and further out into the galaxy. The discovery of space highways, what we know as wormholes, is made. To date, 17 have been discovered in our galaxy alone. But as the galaxy expanded, many of these tubes of focused time, this is the Andromedan perspective of what a wormhole is, tubes of focused time, snapped. No galactic race to this present time know how they were built or by whom, and they cannot be reconstructed. 3.7 billion years ago Earth time, 11 galaxies were joined by these wormhole superhighways. Today, only 2 remained in place that have not snapped. Now just think about that. Okay? 11 galaxies were joined by these wormhole superhighways. Today, only 2 remain. Not having snapped. As trade increases, the spread of life forms takes place. The experimentation of transplanting life forms and vegetation is in full swing throughout the galaxy. The transplanting of life forms is only with life that has potential of sentience. That means consciousness, of potential, of self-knowing. This potential can only be developed in complex ecologies like O2. Specifically, O2 ecospheres biosystems, ecosystems, is the most complex of all the others. Truly complex ecology only occurs in a relatively small number of planets in the galaxy. This is especially true of O2. It follows that complex planet-wide biospheres is the next most valuable thing in the universe to consciousness. However, species come and go, but a truly rich biosphere may endure if it is not compromised. Dinosaurs, birds, and other life forms, fruit trees, are brought to our sector and solar system at this time, transplanted and allowed to thrive and flourish. All developed extraterrestrial races have already impressed on their civilizations the conservation of biospheres, and that it is simply a necessity. We are way behind the curveball here. Way behind the curveball. O2 and H2 civilizations, forget, I'm not going to use that. Okay, I'm going to move to the Cenozoic era because I'm running out of time. The Cenozoic is 65 million years to the present time. Sometimes called the age of mammals because of the largest land animals have developed during this time period. It is also the age of flowering plants, the age of insects, the age of fish, and the age of birds. Extraterrestrial history. Our solar system is being visited more and more. 3 very complex ecosystems exist in our solar system. They are Earth, Mars, and Uranus. The first full-time self-contained Eden, or biosphere, for extraterrestrial life forms is founded in North America, underground along what is now known as New Mexico and Arizona. Eden, the word Eden means biosphere. Okay? We are taught from biblical that it means Garden of Eden, the Garden of Eden. To the extraterrestrial language, which is where we got the word originally, it means biosphere. They would bring a living habitat with them and transplant it here so that when they were not exploring or gardening or tending the rest of the earth, they could live like they're accustomed to. Okay? So it's exactly the same thought as if you buy a mobile home, and what you want to do when you travel throughout the United States is you want to take home with you. It's exactly the same theory. Okay? It's the same mechanism, except they would bring a biosphere because they would be here for maybe up to 1,000 years Earth time. Okay? Because they don't have the same physiology as we do. Exactly the same. Our average lifespan for a man, I believe, is 74 years of age today. Okay? The Andromedans, it's 2,000 years. So spending 100 years here is literally a weekend for them. Where for us, it's nearly 2 generations. Do you follow? So there's a big adjustment, a radical adjustment in trying to figure out exactly how all this happened, because the numbers of years is mind-boggling. Okay, Earth-taught history. Extraterrestrial taught history. This colony was a reptilian outpost established by the Seacar and bioengineered from caste reptilians. Later, other reptilian alliances from Orion and Capella, this is 763,132 years ago, established a presence. Colonies from Ursa Major established in Eden what is now known as Uramini, China. Orion establishes their colony in what is now Mount Yogan on the southern tip of Chile. The Capellians established their Eden in what is now known as Guinea, West Africa. Others follow. 701,655 BC, Lyrans establish a colony on Earth along the Libyan and Niger border in North Africa. 604,003 BC, the Cassiopeans establish a small Eden, what is known as Algeria, North Africa. Boutez, who we know as Nibiru, established their first colony 585,133 BC in Cairo, Egypt, and Orion. It goes on and on and on. Okay, the 71,933 BC, Lemuria is founded, which is a collective colony of Lyrans, Sirius A, Pleiades, Ursa Minor, extraterrestrials from Leo, and Boutez. 57,600 BC, Atlantis is founded. The Pleiades, Andromeda, Boutez, again Nibiru, Aldebaran, Antarians, Hades, and Sagittarians. 31,017 BC, Lemuria is destroyed in a war. 27,603, two of the three continents that make up Atlantis are destroyed by an asteroid, which was thrown at the continents. 329 BC, Alexander the Great has 5 encounters with extraterrestrials that stayed with him and led him to victory. 1479 AD, in Arabia, Nibiru contacts the royal families. 1481, Italy, Rome, contact with the royal families of Europe, again Nibiru. May 3rd, 1561, Nuremberg, Germany, the Aldebarans, first contact with the Habsburgs of the old Roman Empire. November 4th, 1697, Hamburg, Germany, again contact with the Habsburgs, the royal family, one of the royal families of Europe, by the Nibiruans. 323 AD, Constantine the Great has contact with Draconian and Orion extraterrestrials. He, of course, started Christianity. Contact with extraterrestrials has been going on for millions and hundreds of thousands of years. There was a period of 300 years where there was no contact with extraterrestrials on the planet. It is within that 300 years that the United States came into being. Our natural tendencies is to shake off monarchies and to seek freedom for ourselves. That is our natural tendency. That occurred when we were left alone. We have a very, very precious gift, this thing called freedom. Okay? And the Republic isn't perfect, but at least it's ours. At least we say, and we have some control over it. Okay? We're about to lose that. It's imperative that we hold on to that as long as we can.